phones, Babylons can't crack the code.
What do YouTube? B Kelly back again with another banger video. In today's video, y'all, I'm going to be talking about my top 10 favorites to win the Heisman Trophy for the 2021 college football season. Now, I'm going to start this video off with some honorable mentions, so now let's get off to the honorable mentions. First honorable mentions for this Heisman Trophy video is Ohio State quarterbacks. Now, I say Ohio State quarterbacks because I do not know who's going to be the starting quarterback between C.J. Stroud, Jack Miller, and Kyle McCord. I feel like whoever's going to be the starting quarterback will be in some kind of contention in some kind of way for the Heisman Trophy. The next honorable mention is Matt Corral, quarterback from Ole Miss. Now, Matt Corral is a very good quarterback who succeeds a lot in Lane Kiffin's offensive scheme. He showed a lot of flashes this season, even though he had a couple really bad games versus Arkansas and LSU with turnover issues. But Matt Corral overall is a very good quarterback, but I'm not putting him in the top 10, mainly because I feel like his defense isn't going to back him up enough, and they're not going to have the best record for him to actually be a Heisman finalist. Next honorable mention that I have is Dillon Gabriel, quarterback for UCF. Now, Dillon Gabriel is an extremely great passer, and overall, he's just a very good quarterback. And especially in UCF's air raid offense, they have one of the top offenses in college football, if not the best. But the problem with UCF is the competition they play. Even though the AAC is on the rise lately, it's just they're not as respected as you would say the SEC, the Big 12, Big 10, pretty much the Power 5 conferences. The non-Power 5 players are very good, really aren't going to have a real shot at the Heisman in my opinion, but I could see him getting some talks for the award, being in some kind of contention, because if he can have a very good record with UCF, kind of similar to the 2017 season with like what they had, I feel like he will be in some kinds of talks because he puts up some pretty video game-like numbers. A next honorable mention that I have is Desmond Ridder, quarterback from Cincinnati. Now, Desmond Ridder is on a very good Cincinnati team that will have a lot of respect going into the 2021 college football season, and in my opinion will probably be in the preseason top 10, and if they can do what they did last season, and if he can do what he's been doing his entire career at Cincinnati, I could definitely see him being in some kind of talks for the Heisman race. My last honorable mention is Bijan Robinson, running back out of Texas. Now, Texas offense, I think, is about to get a lot better with Steve Sarkisian as the head coach, and I think Bijan Robinson's only going up as he progresses through college football. I mean, I think he might be one of the top running backs in the 2021 college football season, and he's only going to get better, and I think he will be in some kind of talks for the Heisman Trophy, but not be a finalist, kind of like what Breece Hall was this past season. To start off the top 10, I have running back out of Texas A&M, Isaiah Spiller. Now, I believe Isaiah Spiller is going to be one of the top running backs in the nation in the 2021 college football season, and I only see him going up as he plays more college football. I thought he was the best offensive player for Texas A&M this past season, and I see him being the best offensive player for Texas A&M in the 2021 college football season. Coming in at my number 9 spot, I have Bryce Young. Now, we have not seen a lot of Bryce Young because he was a backup quarterback to Mac Jones this previous season, but I do expect a lot of things from him. I do not expect him to win the Heisman in year 1, but I do have him contending in some kind of way. I mean, this is Alabama after all. You cannot count out Alabama no matter who they're losing and no matter who they have. They have Nick Saban as the head coach, and they have some of the top offensive recruits and offensive players in the nation. And I feel like Bryce Young's going to thrive, even if it's his first season of actually starting on the college football level. Coming in at my number 8 spot, I have Jaden Daniels, who's the starting quarterback for Arizona State. Now, he's going into his 3rd season as the starting quarterback for Arizona State, coming off a pretty good season this year and coming off an extremely good season his freshman year in the 2019 college football season. Now, I do believe Jaden Daniels can be a Heisman finalist in this season or next season, but the thing I believe that might keep him from being a Heisman finalist, and this is why he's kind of low on my list right now, only at number 8, is his team. Now, I think Arizona State has the pieces, and they're starting to get more older and mature with their team. They're not that young, or at least there's more of them are upperclassmen that are playing now, and not almost all underclassmen. I do believe the thing holding him back is if they go 7-5 or 8-4, he's not going to be a finalist, and they're going to have to start winning games. I mean, they have the people that they can win the Pac-12, but it's a big what if right now. Coming in at my number 7 spot, I have Miami starting quarterback Derrick King. Now, I think Derrick King is a very good quarterback and a very good leader, and he's been in Heisman talks since he's been at Houston. and going back into this season at Miami. Derrick King is a quarterback that can definitely be a Heisman finalist, but it all depends if Miami can be in the ACC championship game and or win the ACC. Coming in at number 6, I have quarterback from USC, Kedon Slovis. Now, Kedon Slovis was very hyped up going into this season after having a really good freshman campaign where he threw 30 touchdowns and only 9 interceptions and 3,500 yards, and completing as well 72% of his passes. But in the 2020 college football season, of course, it's kind of weird. He really had a good season with USC, only losing one game, and that was in the Pac-12 championship game. But the thing with USC and Kedon Slovis this past season is that it really looked like they were really struggling in the games for most of it, and they really got going as of really late in the game. Now, Kedon Slovis' big problem in 2020 was that he had 7 interceptions in 5 games, which definitely isn't ideal. You do not want to average 1 interception a game. Now, I feel like Kedon Slovis could be a Heisman finalist this year, but he's definitely going to have to start picking it up and start playing really good for full amounts of games and not just near the end. Coming in at my number 5 spot, I have Iowa State running back Bryce Hall. Now, I think Bryce Hall, honestly, should be a Heisman finalist this season if he even replicates what he did last season in the 2020 college football season, or even finishes it near it. Now, what I mean by near it, I mean finishes a little above or a little below or way ahead. That's what I mean. I think he's the best running back in the 2021 college football season. That's going to be my prediction. I think the thing that's going to keep Bryce Hall from being a Heisman finalist in the 2021 college football season is honestly going to be that the Heisman loves quarterbacks. Now, he could be it, but another thing I think will keep him away from it, if he has a season similar to what Chuba Hubbard had, where he has a down season, battling injury issues, and just struggling to get going. Coming in at my number 4 spot, I have quarterback from Clemson and Trevor Lawrence's replacement, DJ Ulique. Now, DJ, I think, showed a lot of flashes this past season where he had to make his 2 starts versus Boston College and Notre Dame. He did finish 1-1 as a starting quarterback, but he almost beat Notre Dame and just lost in overtime. I do see DJ Ulique making a jump in his first season as a starting quarterback for Clemson, and he has the help of Justin Ross coming back for the 2021 college football season, and I do think he will contend for a Heisman finalist spot or just miss it. Now, before I get to my top 3 for my Heisman favorites in the 2021 college football season, let me make a quick disclaimer, and I'm just going to say this. These 3, I feel like, have the best shot at winning the Heisman in the 2021 season, and this is who I have it between for my favorites. And I really don't know who's going to win between these 3, but I feel like it's going to be a very close race between these 3. Coming in at my number 3 spot, I have starting quarterback for Georgia, JT Daniels. Now, JT Daniels has a very good shot to win the Heisman this season and possibly even win a Natty. But with JT Daniels, I think he's for sure going to be a Heisman finalist. And Georgia on offense in the beginning of the 2020 college football season really struggled when JT Daniels was hurt. But once he came back after his injury, they immediately got clicking again on offense. And I think Georgia is going to have a very good season in 2021. Coming in at number 2, it's North Carolina quarterback Sam Howell. Now, these past couple seasons at North Carolina, Sam Howell has honestly been, in my opinion, one of the top quarterbacks in all of college football since he was a freshman. And North Carolina is only going up, and I'm expecting him to take an even bigger jump in his game in year 3. Now, I think he's for sure going to be a Heisman finalist, and he could possibly even win the Heisman, but the only way he won't be a finalist or a Heisman is if UNC does not live up to the hype this season. Now, what I mean by this is UNC was kind of getting hyped up before this season, and they could have made it to the ACC championship game if honestly, if Notre Dame didn't come to the ACC, and if North Carolina did not have their slip-up game versus Florida State. The thing that will keep Sam Howell from being a finalist and or winning the Heisman is if North Carolina just does not show up as a team this year. Coming in at number 1 for my Heisman preseason rankings is Oklahoma quarterback Spencer Rattler. Now, after kind of going on a shaky start to start off the 2020 college football season and the little timeout that he had versus Texas, Spencer Rattler has literally seemed almost perfect when he's been on the field, and he's shown some abilities where it's just like it's too easy for him on some of the deep balls he throws, and some of the balls where the quarterback is scrambling out, and it literally looks like he are not going to be able to make the pass, but he somehow fits it through the little holes, and it goes straight to the receiver. Now, I'm expecting a big season from the Sooners and Spencer Rattler in 2021, and Lincoln Riley, he breeds quarterbacks for Heismans, and I'm definitely expecting Spencer Rattler to be a Heisman finalist. Now that I'm at the end of the video, leave your thoughts down in the comments down below and tell me who you think is going to win the Heisman Trophy in 2021. And more importantly, remember to smash that like button, turn on them post notifications, and subscribe for more videos. B. Kelly out.